So this video is primarily me distracting myself from the fact that Persona 5 comes out in like 2 or 3 days, depending, because if you get it, I ordered mine digitally, so that way I could start playing it sort of at least at midnight. So, but if you're not doing that, then it's going to be a full, well, I guess technically it is a full, like, 3 days, because you gotta wait till midnight anyway, but whatever. It comes out in, like, 3 days, and I really can't wait, and a guy I watch online, frickin' Mother's Basement, somehow got his early. I don't know if it was, like, a promotional thing or whatever, but he got his from Amazon early, and I'm trying to, like, not watch the stream and not spoil myself for Persona 5, because if you've played a Persona game, you know that the plot's a big fucking deal, and I've heard really good things about this game, and I really don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil the beginning. I don't want to spoil nothing about nothing yet. Okay, we got like a few days left, and all I want to do is play the damn game. So instead, I'm going to talk about some other games. Only one right now. I might make other videos, you know, whatever. But these aren't games I'm happy about. These are games I'm probably mad about. The first game being, I've been wanting to talk about this game for a while. I actually beat it like a month ago, and I've been ranting about it on and off for a while. Well, let's see if I can do this. That's 7th Dragon. 7th Dragon Code VFO. 7th Dragon 3 Code VFO. And the reason why I'm so mad about this is because back in the day, one of the 7th Dragons came out in Japan. It was in Japan, not in the US or anything. And I downloaded an PSP emulator to try and play it. Unfortunately, number one, my emulator was crap. I didn't understand how emulators worked. Number two, it was slow as fuck. And number three, it's all in Japanese. I can't read it. I'm like 12 or something. But I still wanted to try because I know people who will just play a game in another language they do not understand and just somehow make it through, right? Not me. I can't do it, apparently. But I was excited for it, right? I played it a little bit, and I was like, oh, the characters look cool, I wonder what the concept is, whatever. I like the way the characters look and everything. And then I bought this, because it was coming out in the US, and it's not really, my understanding really is that you don't need to know what's happening. Like, you don't need to know the other games to play it. And I really didn't like it. So first off, it's one of those games where there's not really truly a pure main character. It's you design your main character. At the beginning of the game, there's like 3 different types you can have. There's like the duelist, the swordsman, secret agent. I don't even remember what it is. The hacker. I don't remember. There's like 3 or 4 different characters you can create. And there's like 3 different timelines because you're going in the future and in the past and shit. Or something like I think you're mainly going in the past, and every time you do a thing, 3 more options of classes become available. But you design your main character. You could be a boy or girl, doesn't matter. But that's part of the problem for me because they don't personalize anything in the game. Because they try and do like a sort of semi-romance thing at one point where you're talking to characters and you have to like get to know them in the lounge or whatever. But it's just like weirdly awkward because no one says any pronouns or your name. They only say your name and it's very vague and it's very weird. But anyway, you join this team because you're doing dragon shit. I can't even actually remember the plot. I just remember you need to get like, I think it's like DNA or something like that. You need to defeat these dragons in the past and get like their DNA or something because you're creating VFO or something. You're creating this thing that's supposed to destroy or do something to the dragons that are plaguing the earth because the dragons just come in and kill everybody. Disclaimer, I don't remember jack shit about the plot because the plot's fucking stupid, okay? And also warning, if you want to play this game, I might be spoiling major shit about the plot, so just don't watch it if you want to play it. Just saying. So first, what's both good and bad about it is the battles. I think the battles, like when you use your items, they're cool and shit, but the problem I have, or when you use your abilities, the problem is, in the overworld, you run around, it's like a little 3D Persona, that's fine, but akin to like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Nintendo style where it's like little chibi people. No, get off. So, but when you're actually in the battle, it's like just the enemies and then it's your characters, like your characters' health bars and shit. But the only time you see your characters is when you attack. Actually it's kinda like Persona Q in that. And it's just like it's sort of stupid the way they do certain things in the battle. And to be honest, I think there's even a fast forward. I don't remember if there is a fast forward feature, but I'm telling you, it takes fucking forever sometimes to do these battles. It actually hurts my fucking soul. And so, what kind of makes it worse at times is that I sat up. What kind of makes it worse at times is like, some of these dungeons I feel like go on forever, right? They go on forever, and then the battles take forever. And then that's not even that big of a deal. The battle system is not as big of a deal. What I think is sort of annoying is every time you make a character, it starts out at level 1. You have to go through all this shit to level it up. You're not going to be able to level up or even get all its moves before the end of the game unless you sit there and you grind it, which I'm not fucking doing. The one thing that really pissed me off was the side quests. And not even because they are side quests. I like side quests. Side quests mean a lot. In a game like Shadow Hearts 2 or 3 where you don't naturally gain abilities by leveling up, you have to do side quests to get new abilities. That's cool. But in this case, the side quests were like, talk to this girl about this thing. You talk to her, and that's the end of the side quest. That's it. Talk to this girl about a thing. Done. No bearing on the plot. No bearing on you. It's just a super quick, like, hey, whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck was the point? Sometimes it takes forever to do it, and at the end of the day, there's no reason for you to do it. And you get nothing. Fucking nothing. That's annoying. But one of the most annoying things is the fucking plot in the end of this damn game. I'm shaking the camera because I'm so mad. So, everything looks cute and that's fine. But the ending, there's like a point, spoiler, major spoiler, you do all this shit with all these characters. And then at the very end of the game, or almost at the semi-very end of the game, everybody just fucking dies. It's the 7th final dragon, or whatever, is like... or the strongest dragon's actually the girl that was helping you, and it turns out that like the one guy who recruited you, he's actually in on it because he thought it would evolve humanity because humanity sucks dick, but then he changed his mind after interacting with you because why not, and you're supposed to be turning into like the 7th dragon because you're doing all this shit or whatever. And then the one android robot guy that was created by the government turns evil because you knew he fucking would because he's getting addicted to power or whatever. And it's like, okay. And then people literally, there's just one scene where the girl like releases these pheromones or some shit and then everybody just drops dead. Everybody but like you and your team just drops fucking dead. What the fuck? Literally everyone, all your part, all the like side characters, all just dead. And then, because of some end of the game bullshit, you end up like reviving the world and everything's fine. It's like all the events that happened in the game just don't exist. That's not there. And then like the rest of the world's just fucking like revived. Everything's revived. What? And I know if you've played the game, I am leaving details out, but it's just, for me, it also has been a month, and this is just mainly my feelings on it, not really like a legit review. It's just more like a rant. But it's just so... I was sitting there and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was so mad. Because I was looking forward to this game a lot. I really like the way it looks, and I've been wanting to play it since like when I was younger, and I just kind of found the game and it was aesthetically pleasing to me. And I like that you have all these different classes and stuff. But the one thing, not even in this game, in general, I hate games that kind of don't have like a main character. I understand self-inserts, I really do. Or not self-inserts per se, but you know how like in some of the newer like Dragon Quest games, I don't know about the one that's coming out, but the last like several Dragon Quest games that have come out, you design your character, and like in this game you pick everything about your character. I don't like when a game doesn't give you your own voice. They let you... How should I put this? Okay, so I have conflicting opinions right here. I like when games let you choose shit about your main character, but I also want them to give me options that allow for diverse options, so it's not just you being a fucking... Kind of like the whole Paradigm, what is it, Paradigm or Paragon Renegade, whatever the fuck, the Mass Effect thing where one option's like be an asshole and the other option's like be nice. I like that, except not as extreme, you know what I mean? I kind of like having various different options that aren't just all like good or whatever, and it's incentivized. I just want to have options. But at the same time, I like it when you have a main character and you play the main character, but the main character is their own person. Like in a lot of the, in most of the like Tales of series or in the Final Fantasies, where you play as this is a character who is a main character, and this is his personality now, and he will grow from the series. Because I feel like that feels so much better than when you play generic character A, because you've made that character, but because they can't make it super special, and they can't make it individual for every individual, they have to just have generic things happen or generic statements said so they don't have to say your gender or name, because what if you decided to play as a boy? What if you decided to play as a robot? What if you decided to play as a redhead? So, like, they can't be specific about anything, so it's very just like, hey, that's pretty much what it is. And I like both things, but I want something from both things. If I'm gonna have a main character, he better fucking grow. I don't want to. I don't like playing 12 sucked because I don't like Vaughn. 12 wasn't a bad game. I don't like Vaughn though. A lot of people like Vaughn. I don't. Final Fantasy 12. But whatever. At least he was his own character. I just felt like he didn't really grow at all. I felt like he was. 12 was weird for me because it was political and I didn't follow it for a long time. But they're remaking it and I'm going to give it another shot. They're remaking it for the PS4. It's coming out in July, I think. I'm going to buy that shit. It's also only like $40, like 50 or $40, surprisingly, for the PS4. I expected it to be 60, but whatever. But also, if they allow me to make my own character, I really want there to be like something to it. I don't want it to just be everything's like kind of weirdly generic because they can't afford to like make anything specific. The one that really made me mad, it's a game like this. Both in this game and in one of the Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior? Dragon Quest. What did they change it to? It used to be Dragon Warrior, I think. Yeah. In one of the Dragon Quests or whatever, I forget which one it was, but it's one where, just like in this game, you make your own character, main character, but then you make your party. In this game and in that Dragon Quest, all of you and the entirety of your party are created. And granted, you're supposed to be able to kind of give them a personality by giving them like a voice or whatever, but like, that fucking doesn't matter. Nothing about that matters. And in this and in the Dragon Quest. And it was so kind of boring after a while. There's no like dialogue between characters because nobody has a literal personality. Everyone is just created. So they don't have a personality. They don't have a reason to do anything. And that's the worst part. Part of the reason why, even if the Tales of games aren't as good as they could be, or some of them are great, or whatever, we have a party of characters that have their own personalities. Same thing in Final Fantasy. Hate 13, but I still liked it in that there were characters that had personalities, and I could dislike them. I could dislike them if I wanted to. I know very few people who liked Snow, okay? Some people really like Snow. Most people don't like Snow. Same thing with Hope. And it's like, I liked Vanille. Vanille was probably my favorite character. I like Vanille and Fang and Lightning and shit. It's kind of ironic. I didn't like any really of the boy characters. Usually it's like reversed. I usually don't like girl characters. Not because I have anything against female Final Fantasy characters, but because sometimes they tend to make, in video games, female characters fucking annoying as shit. But, not that big of a deal right now. Anyway, I'm getting off point. Not that I really have a point, but I don't like that because I like the banter between characters. I like having and even if it's just one or two characters, like in Okami, there are a bunch of characters in Okami. There's Waka, there's Amaterasu, there's Ishin, there's various characters you meet throughout the series that you come back and you can interact with, like the boss, the bird boss guy, and, the Undersea Kingdom, and the priestesses, and the Empress, and shit like that, and there's all these characters. But even if we're talking about of legit just main characters, we really only had super reoccurring was Waka, Amaterasu, and Ishin, but they all were very different, and they all had different even Amaterasu, who's just a fucking wolf goddess. She's like, she does still have, in a sense, a personality, and Ishin is like this asshole guy who turns around at the end of the series, and Waka, like, we find out his whole reason for doing what he does, and it made a difference. At the actual end of Okami, after the song, I think it's called like Regret or something, at the end of the song that plays at the end of Okami, I fucking cried. That song made me cry. I had feelings towards the end of the series. And, you know, games that don't give defined characters, I feel like, really suffer. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a character that's created and have a good game. Like, I still enjoyed, never beat it, still haven't beaten them, will one day, Dragon's Dogma and, Kingdoms of Amalur. The only reason I haven't beaten them is because they're long-ass games. But, you know, it's like, those games, you make your character, right? But there's so much going on, and there's so much plot, and there's just, like, a giant world to explore, and that makes the game a lot better than it could be compared to these, like, 3DS small world scaled games where, you know, I don't know. To be honest, if this was really mainly only a rant, like, it's not really even a review, and I don't plan on making it a review because I didn't like the game, and, you know, could I have just looked up reviews for this game and decided if I wanted it or not? Sure. But I'm the type of person who, if the game looks interesting, I'm probably just gonna buy it, because for the most part, I actually take away, even if a game isn't amazing, I take away something from the game, usually. Like, I've been playing Hatsune Miku a lot, right? And I like rhythm games, so it's not a bad game for me. But even now, I'm working on trophies, so I'm starting to get annoyed with certain things about the game, and admittedly, I'm not going to be able to get all the trophies because the trophies in Diva Project X are fucking stupid. But at the very end of the day, I could say, well, my reaction time's probably better because I fucking have to mash these buttons. Even if a game's mediocre, I still try and take something away from it or get something out of it, because just because a game's not great doesn't mean the game isn't worth playing. You know what I mean? It's just a game you could play. It's not gonna be, you know, you shouldn't only play games that are gonna be 10 out of 10s. Like that, you're never gonna play anything, because very rarely is there a game that's just like, whoop, 10 out of 10. So, like, whatever. But yeah, overall, I really actually didn't like 7th Dragon. It was probably one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. Not because the game is actually that bad, depending on who you are, but because I was so excited for it, and then it just turned out to not be anything like I wanted. But anyway, let me know what you thought of 7th Dragon 7th Dragon 3 code VFO in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.